Pokemon printed 11.9 billion cards in 2023, making it its biggest year ever since the Pokemon trading card game began over 25 years ago. With millions of people across the globe collecting Pokemon cards and playing the Pokemon video games, it's no surprise that Pokemon is the biggest franchise ever, bringing in nearly $100 billion in revenue since it began. If you're watching this video, it's probably because you're thinking about starting a Pokemon collection yourself and want to know how to get started. Whether you're looking to collect specific cards, invest in sealed product, have fun ripping packs, or just learn the hobby because your kids are interested in Pokemon, I will be laying out everything that you must know in order to effectively collect and store your Pokemon cards. Let's get into it. We'll begin talking about the essentials of starting a Pokemon collection in just a second, but if you're new to the channel, I just want to say thank you for watching, and if you're interested in Pokemon news, Pokemon market analysis, and just anything related to Pokemon cards, be sure to subscribe to the channel, which will also allow you to participate in future giveaways that we do pretty frequently. As for the giveaway winner from the Stellar Crown Hit or Miss video, which was the CGC10 EV Art Rare from Crimson Haze, please congratulate the user shown here. You are the winner. If you're the winner, check the description of this video for my email, and send me an email so we can get this shipped out to you. So the first thing that you need to do before you start collecting Pokemon is very simple, and that is to set a budget for how much you're going to spend. This sounds very trivial, but let me tell you from experience, it is very easy to spend a lot of money on Pokemon cards, whether it's Pokemon singles, booster bundles, loose packs, or especially booster boxes. Pokemon cards can get very expensive very quick. It can also be very addicting once you get into the hobby, so I really recommend starting off slow and setting a very strict budget with yourself. That way you can enjoy the hobby without diving in too deep and not being able to pay your bills over Pokemon cards. Now we'll get into the best way to effectively buy Pokemon packs in a little bit, but the important thing to remember is that Pokemon cards can get very expensive. I find that it helps to set a budget every month just so that I know when I'm getting close to being done opening booster packs and make sure that I'm getting the most out of my money that month. Now the second thing that you should do when you're starting a Pokemon collection is set some goals for yourself. Are you trying to collect a certain set or a certain type of Pokemon card? Are you looking to invest in sealed product? Or are you just looking to have fun and open packs? Some people enjoy opening packs with their friends or with their kids, and it makes it a very enjoyable hobby, especially when you have people around you to enjoy it with. However, knowing what your goals are can make it much more enjoyable, especially when you're setting a budget for yourself. That way you feel like you're making progress in whatever goals that you're going for. If you have a set budget and you want to be able to collect sealed product, it's going to make you think a lot harder on what it is that you want in order to progress your goals of getting a nice sealed collection. The same thing applies when you're trying to master a certain set or just try to collect every card of a certain Pokemon. You'll be much more mindful of what it is that you're spending and where you're spending it if you're trying to maximize your ability to complete your collection. Now, if you're just ripping packs, you may not worry about this too much. If you're somebody who likes to get the most out of your money, this is also important because it will matter where you spend your money in order to get the most packs. So by setting goals for yourself and by setting a strict budget, this will create a healthy environment that will let you build up a Pokemon card collection without going too crazy and putting yourself in debt. Now, the third thing you need to do when you're starting a Pokemon collection is do your research on the different sets and products to see what you like. There are many different modern and vintage sets out there right now. The vintage sets are obviously a lot more expensive if you're trying to buy packs and sealed product, but as far as modern is concerned, there are many different product types starting from hanger packs, 2 to 3 pack blisters, booster bundles, elite trainer boxes, and of course booster boxes. Using your strict budget, you may want to go all in on one set, which may push you towards getting a booster box of that set. However, if you're interested in a mix of sets, you may be inclined to buy elite trainer boxes or booster bundles of different sets. Now, some sets are special sets and do not come with booster boxes. They tend to only come with booster bundles, elite trainer boxes, and single packs. This is important to know ahead of time so you can effectively manage which packs you're going to get from which sets if you're trying to work on multiple at the same time. Now, going back to elite trainer boxes, I just want to clarify that elite trainer boxes are a special type of product which come with a promo card, sleeves, coins, and they also come with 9 packs each. There are also Pokemon Center versions of these elite trainer boxes that you can buy off the Pokemon Center website, which come with 2 more packs and a special Pokemon Center stamped version of the promo card. If you're somebody who likes stamped promo cards or anything like that, the Pokemon Center ETBs can also be a good thing to look to buy. There are many resources out there to do your research on sets, like Justin Basil and Pokllector. These websites have full set lists available, so you can look at each individual set and every card that you can potentially pull from that set. We're going to hop over to Pokllector now, just so I can show you what it looks like, so you can kind of get an idea of how to inventory and look at set lists. Now, Pokllector has a website, as you can see here, but they also have an app, which is a very useful tool in order to catalog your Pokemon collection, but also just to be able to see the set list so you can see all the different cards that are in a specific set. If we go ahead and take a look at one of the sets, let's go ahead and look at Shrouded Fable, for example. If you click on it, it'll show you every card in the entire set, starting with the bulk cards, all the way down to the A-Specs, the illustration rares, the full art EXs, the full art trainers, the special illustration rares, and then the gold cards. Now, the utility of this app is that you can actually catalog what cards you have versus which ones you don't. So if you're trying to complete a specific set, this can be extremely useful because you can just click on the Pokemon card that you have and it'll catalog it saying that you have it. For example here, say I pulled the Horsey illustration rare from Shrouded Fable, you just go ahead and click that little check mark in the top and it'll add it to your collection. Now, if you also click on it, you can see a full art version of the card. You'll also be able to see the TCG player and the eBay prices over here on the right side of the card. This can be useful to help value a specific card as well, but sometimes just going directly to TCG player is a better way to do it. But all in all, I do highly recommend using Pokllector. This is a very, very useful app as it allows you to see the different set lists, and it's also just a really nice way to organize what you have in your Pokemon card collection, because as your Pokemon card collection grows, it's going to be harder and harder to manage what it is that you have and what you don't. So just being able to catalog it like this is very easy, and trying to do it on an Excel spreadsheet manually will just take so much more time than using this app. Now, another important thing to think about when you're trying to start a Pokemon collection is where you're going to buy your Pokemon cards or packs. Now, there are many different stores that you can buy from, and this really just depends on what your goals are. If you're somebody who doesn't care too much about getting it for the absolute cheapest price, I always recommend going to your local card shop and supporting a small business. This is always a great way to support the community, along with getting some packs, and everybody wins. Now, if you're somebody on a budget and you're trying to get the most possible Pokemon cards for the lowest possible cost, this is where you need to do a little bit of research. There are many different websites and stores that you can use to buy Pokemon packs. TikTok is a perfect example. I personally use TikTok Shop all the time because they frequently offer coupons, which allows me to get Pokemon cards for sometimes lower than retail price. Now, there's also many different stores that offer Pokemon cards. Macy's is a good example, Target, Walmart, Best Buy. You can also get Pokemon packs on TCG Player and eBay. GameStop is also a good way to do it if you have the Pro membership, which allows you to get 5% off on trading card collectibles, and you also collect points which you can use to buy Pokemon packs later. But all these big retailers, especially Macy's and Best Buy, frequently do sales on their Pokemon cards, so if you're checking their website frequently, every once in a while you might see a good sale, and you might be able to pick up some Pokemon cards at a good price. Now, if you're trying to buy singles or maybe older sealed product, TCG Player or eBay are really good places for that. TCG Player I personally really like because you can see the market price displayed right there so that you know what everybody's paying for it. It can also be a good way to value your collection. I personally buy a lot of singles. I try to stay away from opening too many packs of a set for a big chase. When a set releases, I'll typically open a good set of packs right at the start, and then afterwards I'll usually wait a couple months for the cards that I really want, and I'll buy those on TCG Player because I usually don't want to go and buying 500, 600, 700 packs just to pull a $50 to $100 card. I understand the thrill of the hunt, but it's just not something that I have the ability to do budget-wise, so I would just rather open a little bit of packs, enjoy the process of opening packs, and then buy the cards that I would like for my collection later. Now, if you're interested in buying Japanese cards or Japanese seal product, eBay is really the best place to do it. You can use websites like Price Charting and 130 Point, which takes the eBay last sales in order to help you value out how much you should be paying for something, and this is a good way to determine how much you should be spending when you're buying Japanese product or singles. So all in all, if you're trying to buy Pokemon cards for a low price, I typically recommend going on TikTok or some other stores like GameStop and Macy's, but I always advocate purchasing from a local card shop if you have the ability to. That way you can support a small business, meet some new people, and become integrated in the Pokemon community. Another thing that you should think about when you're starting a Pokemon collection is how you're going to store your Pokemon cards. Now, if you have sealed products, that makes it a little bit easier. Now, the downsides of sealed product is it'll take up a lot more space, but in reality, you just need to be able to find a safe space for it. You can use acrylic cases for things like booster boxes, and then you really just need to find a good safe closet to be able to store it. Now, if you're like most people and you're opening Pokemon packs, there are a few things you need to consider. First off, being sleeves. Now, the Elite Trainer Box sleeves are okay, but they do tend to scratch up the backs of the cards, so I always recommend using a penny sleeve. You can get them for very cheap on Amazon, usually in the hundreds of sleeves for around $10. This is a good way to protect your cards, and you really need them in order to put them in a binder, which is the next thing. So once you've pulled all those fantastic hits from some packs and you put them in a penny sleeve, the next thing you need is a binder. Here's one of my binders that I use. This one is a sleeve binder, so if I go ahead and open it up here, you'll see that all the cards are just in penny sleeves and nicely fit with a nice hard backing behind them in order to keep them safe. They don't have cards rubbing against each other back to back, and they just nicely display all of your cards while keeping them safe. Now, if you're somebody who's a little bit more hardcore and really wants to protect your best cards, I always recommend using some top loaders, which look like this. So you would take your card, put it in a penny sleeve, and then put that inside of the top loader. This is like a hard protective casing that allows your cards to be really extra safe and so that they don't move around inside of the sleeve. And if you're even crazier like me, you can get a top loader binder. This is a wonderful way to display your cards while keeping them safe. Many people do choose to put their top loaders inside of a tin, maybe just bubble wrap that whole group of cards and then put it in the tin just to keep them safe. But I personally like having them in a top loader binder. That way I can still periodically look at my Pokemon card collection, and they're nicely stored, so if I want to take them to a trade day, they're all here nice and safe. Now, the last thing that I have to say if you're starting a Pokemon collection is just to have fun. Don't stress about it too hard. While having a budget is important and making sure that you're not spending too much on Pokemon cards, don't stress too much always about trying to get the most out of your Pokemon card collection. Just enjoy opening packs every once in a while. One thing that I do with my friends once a year is we all come together and buy a lot of packs and just have some fun ripping them. It's a nice way for us to bond and just have a good time while not stressing about maximizing what we're getting out of Pokemon packs by buying singles or buying product or anything like that. We just have fun opening packs, getting excited over each other's pulls, and just hang out, and it's a great time. If you have trade days around you, I also highly encourage going to trade days. This is another great way to meet new people and get integrated into the hobby, into the community more. I've met a lot of cool people that I still frequently talk to and enjoy ripping Pokemon packs with through trade days. So So again, I really encourage doing that kind of stuff. You can also go to conventions like Card Party and Collecticon, which are great ways to buy singles, slabs, and just also again meet other people and do some trades. So while it is easy to get sucked into the values of cards, which is something that we talk about frequently on this channel, I do want to say that there is some importance to just enjoying the hobby every once in a while and just enjoy opening some packs and hanging out with friends. Other than that, if you do all the things that I listed, you'll start a great Pokemon collection in no time, and you're going to have fun doing it, which is the most important thing. If you have any additional questions on starting a Pokemon collection, go ahead and drop a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But that's everything you need to know to start a Pokemon collection, and in the future I'll be doing 2 separate videos, one on how to value your Pokemon collection along with how to sell your Pokemon collection. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you made it this far and you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you can enjoy all the giveaways that we do later. We frequently give away awesome slabs on this channel, which is a great way to kickstart your Pokemon collection. Alright everybody, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.